Trouble in Paradise podcast is intended for mature audiences. This means you will hear realistic adult language such as and go off. Audience discretion is advised.
What is knob polishing?
You're gonna make me say this. I am a neglected man.
I like to think that I look like a jack, even though my name's really Bob.
Does he have danglers or something?
Well, it's time to go do them lighthouse duties.
Sitting in the cheese at the old Walmart to cool off.
That should be the headline. Man tasered in the nuts after stealing beef.
Yeah, but you're not gonna sit in the cheese. You're not gonna sit in the cheese, and you're not gonna put ribeyes down your pants either.
House cleaning is secondary. So what is...
The Trouble in Paradise podcast is intended for mature audiences. This means you will hear realistic adult language such as and go off. Audience discretion is advised.
What is knob polishing?
You're gonna make me say this. I am a neglected man.
I like to think that I look like a jack, even though my name's really Bob.
Does he have danglers or something?
Well, it's time to go do them lighthouse duties.
Sitting in the cheese at the old Walmart to cool off.
That should be the headline. Man tasered in the nuts after stealing beef.
Hi,
Yeah,
Skittles.
but you're not gonna sit in the cheese. You're not gonna sit in the cheese, and you're not gonna put ribeyes down your pants either.
House cleaning is secondary. So what is the Viagra triangle?
Possibly we aid in your digestion.
I don't know if his little hand is smaller than his little ears or what.
Aw, well maybe he has a syndrome.
You want to go check out my RV? It's parked right around the corner. Because I'm pretty sure that I saw some moose knuckle.
No.
There is absolutely some moose knuckle going on.
My swampy friend. What the hell is a swampy friend?
I know. So they're not going to get any scraping on their shaft.
Yes, I'm gonna do a downward dog.
Okay, pretty lady. You had on those gosh darn sexy leather looking shorts.
Ladies and gentlemen, and assholes, gather around. It's time for another action-packed episode of
Trouble in Paradise. Hi, I'm Nigel Kent.
And I'm Jasmine Starr.
And welcome to Trouble in Paradise.
The podcast that covers conspiracy theories to crazy Karens, politics to the paranormal, and all the weird news in between from our studios in Southwest Florida.
And we are in our super secret backup studio lair.
Why are we here tonight?
Because there have been some incidents. There may or may not have been one or two incidents that were related to, poop.
It was a shitty situation.
It was, to say the least, a mildly shitty situation. Contractor at our Bonita Springs headquarters accidentally sliced a sewer pipe whilst trying to build a building next to our building, rendering our toilets and showers and drains of all kinds very gross and absolutely repulsive, and it smells quite putrid. And while we wait for that contractor to fix things, we're going to go ahead and not name them right now.
No. That'll be on another episode.
Yeah. Once we get to the lawsuit stage, then we'll start to dox them. In the meantime, they will remain safely anonymous, as will our backup location, our super secret backup location.
Yes.
We
might just be slightly south tonight from our normal location.
Would you say about 10 to 12 miles south?
Perhaps.
So possibly in the city of Naples?
We might be in Naples.
We might be in Naples, Florida.
We might be.
What a terribly awesome time it is to be doing a live stream and podcast. This is episode 45 of Trouble in Paradise.
I can't believe it's been that many.
You know, by now, I bet you remember how to tell all of our watchers and listeners and new audience members how to get a hold of us,
Yes,
Jasmine
you can
Star.
follow us on Twitter at Trouble239. No, I got that totally wrong, didn't I? It's Tipcast.
On Twitter, it's Tipcast239. Yes.
Yeah, leave it to me after however many episodes.
Everybody just unsubscribed. They're like, these guys don't even know their own
They
shit.
don't even know. Absolutely. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Trouble239 on Instagram, trouble@trouble239.com to email us. If you have any questions, comments, something that you
Complaints.
want to see on the show.
I'm the ombudsman, so if you'd like to register a complaint, I will ombud your complaint for you.
Yes, and then check out our Patreon at patreon.com/trouble239.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so we have a amazing, wonderful, and incredible non-outline of subjects to
Right.
talk about tonight. Jasmine Star, for anybody that would like in the live chat, is going to
Yes.
pull some numerology cards and give some interpretations
Yeah.
based on those card pulls. So if there's anything that you're curious about or you're seeking a little bit of intuitive guidance,
Yep.
feel
ready
free to
to-
jump on the live chat. And
Yeah. If you got a question for me, let me know.
also, if you're not able to make the live chat tonight, if you'd like to email us, trouble@trouble239.com.
Yep.
If there's something that you think would be worth featuring on a future live stream that has to do with Jasmine's intuitive abilities, certainly let us know. In the meantime, we are going to talk about the slam that the Congress just put on Qanon in a major way.
Wow, what the hell, man?
And we have some fantastic, and I mean fantastic, only in Florida stories to talk about, just to lighten the mood, because it's been such a shit show all week.
I
Since
know.
the debate on Tuesday night, it's been a complete shit show.
Well, we covered the debate, and then let's see what's happened since then.
Well, a lot of things have happened since then.
I know.
Our dear President Trump came down with a case of the Rona. Oh, man, I got a case of the
And-
Rona.
And Flotus.
And Flotus.
Flotus has with the Rona too.
Hey, Flota,
You know.
you got that Rona, Flota?
So, yeah.
How do you say, is this Skittles or Skeetles? Hey, can you give us a phonetic spelling of your name, please? I want to say Skittles, but I feel like it might be spelled, maybe it might be slightly different.
It looks like Skittles to me.
We're trying to see what
Well,
your
in
name
Florida
looks like,
news.
but we're really old and hard of seeing. So let us know how to spell your name. Thank you for joining. Like the candy, Skittles.
Yes. Duh.
You must be quite colorful. You know, they have those bags of one-colored Skittles. Remember that shit they did a couple years ago where it was like a bag of nothing but green lime Skittles and it was all one flavor?
That's like the most disgusting flavor.
What, lime?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would be happy if somebody just gave me a bag of like red and grape.
Hey,
Red and
PF3. How you doing, Frito?
What's up, PF3?
PF3, we are in the super duper backup layer. We are in the Trouble in Paradise backup layer, which
Yes.
means no green screen tonight.
Nope.
But we are going to hit these subjects really, really hard. As you know, there's been some.
Yeah. We were just getting into talking about POTUS and FLOTUS and their RONUS. So, yeah.
Coronis,
I
POTUS, and FLOTUS. I can't. It sounds like a Dr. Seuss.
You know, and here's where we differ, because you really feel like this is legit.
Jasmine's telling me how I feel.
No, we
Ladies and
talked
gentlemen and
about this.
assholes, Jasmine is telling me how I feel.
Okay, no, go ahead. How do you feel? Is this a legitimate thing? Does he really
Okay,
have?
so the question is,
Because there's like a lot of debate going on
do
right
the
now.
president and first lady actually have that Rona?
Right.
No.
That's not what you said earlier.
Well, I didn't say that that I believe that they're actually infected with that Rona, but if you're going to promote the vax agenda, then you absolutely have to get everybody convinced that you are. And if you want to promote the therapeutic agenda, the HCQ and ivermectin, all the stuff that's going to get us banned, you also have to prove that it cured you. But I think there's a lot more to that, and we're going to talk about the Q explanation. Q.
Right.
Qanon. We're going to talk about Qanon.
Yeah.
I grew up in Detroit, and there was a kid that I grew up with on my block. His name was Qanon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he's a part of the movement.
No.
So we're going to talk about that. And so Skittles, your hair is what? Like the candy?
Purple.
Purple? I thought we were talking about lime.
I'm going with purple.
All right. So let us know what color your hair is. Frito, also, we need to know what color your hair is, too. That's super important. Hey, Al, how you doing? Welcome. Coronas. Dos coronas. Yes. We are going to dive into this story about the QAnon conspiracy theory condemnation by a caucus in the U.S. House of Representatives, which is led by Democrats. Jazmine, why don't you tell us what's going on?
All right. So the House overwhelmingly approved a resolution condemning QAnon, the fringe movement that promotes wide-ranging conspiracies about the U.S. government, and yet has enjoyed a rising tide inside conservative politics in part because of tacit encouragement from President Trump.
Can we stop in for a second and
Sure.
define what tacit means?
Go for it.
Tacit means that the person they're accusing of supporting the idea has never actually addressed the idea or acknowledged that it exists.
Right.
So it's support by ignorance. That's what tacit means to NPR.
Right.
And I'm going to post the link to the story in the live chat.
Yeah, this is from NPR.org. The measure passed 371 to 18 with one GOP
Tacit.
member voting present. QAnon is a collective delusion,
Okay.
said House Rules Chairman Jim McGovern, Democrat of Massachusetts. We all must call it what it is, a sick cult. The resolution was sponsored by Representative Tom Malinowski, a Democrat running for re-election in a competitive New Jersey race, who has been repeatedly and inaccurately accused by House Republicans' official campaign operation of lobbying on behalf of sexual predators. Malinowski told BuzzFeed those attacks have made him the target of death threats by QAnon believers, which I have a hard time believing that, but because of a central...
So that QAnon sent death threats to a Democrat
Right.
congressman?
Well, and if people understand really the principles of Q, they would know that it's not really a nonviolent...
Yeah, it's about making up your own mind. It's
Right.
it's very skeptical. Yeah.
And I always say, anybody who doesn't know anything about Q and wants some more information, great resource. Go to Martin Geddes and read his Geddes on Q.
Yes.
It's a great place to start.
Yeah, and anybody, again, I don't think we can say this enough, but if you want to know what's really going on with QAnon, turn off the TV.
Yeah.
And go to martingeddes.com. That's Martin, GEDDES.com, and get his PDF, Get Us on Q. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So
these
where were
Democrats
you?
are trying to slam Q.
So death threats by QAnon believers because the central tenet of the conspiracy involves global sex trafficking rings, which is true.
That is the central tenet of the conspiracy. These people are sick. Yes.
Right. But they're trying to turn the table, and it's kind of like that, they point the finger at you, and, there's three fingers pointing back at them and of what they're actually accusing.
Okay. That's called gaslighting.
Thank you for the...
I'm used to it. It's been happened to me a lot throughout my life. But anyway, anybody been gaslighted? Let us know.
I think
We'll
they
pull
knew
cards for you.
exactly what they were doing. They knew they were playing with fire, he said. The House GOP campaign operation has not relented on the attack, saying Malinowski must live with the consequences of his actions. And the campaign operation continues to attack the Democratic incumbents for their relationship to Malinowski based on this unsubstantiated claim.
So, Democratic incumbents related to Malinowski or supporting Malinowski, QAnon's deriding them because Malinowski has been accused of something inappropriate.
He's been lobbying for, yeah.
Yes, he's been lobbying on behalf of those that would legalize pedophilia.
Pedophilia.
Yep. So PF3 chats, did you watch the meeting they had? Tom Malinowski is so shady, period.
I know. I did not get to see that.
I mean, is it a hearing related to this submission of this legislation or what?
I just got this from NPR, so
Okay.
maybe Precious
All right.
Fuda could answer that one for us in the live chat. QAnon conspiracy theories trace back to the late 2017 when an anonymous person or persons Q began posting blah, blah, blah. We all know this.
You know what, though? How much of it is actually true? How much of their history of QAnon is legit? So can we reread NPR's synopsis of what QAnon is and go through it and see if we think it's true or not?
Okay. The QAnon conspiracy theories trace back to late 2017. We do know that the drops began around that time.
Yeah, shortly after the president took office.
When an anonymous person or persons named Q began posting on message boards claiming to possess a security clearance and evidence of a number of global criminal conspiracies.
Okay, generally also true. I don't know if Q ever claimed security clearance,
Many
though.
involving top... that was just a theory.
That was speculated.
Right.
I don't know that
They're
Q ever
using-
pronounced that he had the security clearance.
No, and they're using like military fanatics.
I could be
whenever
wrong
they-
on that, though. But okay.
Yeah, they're just
So
using
far,
the
how are
phonetic
we?
alphabet.
We're rating their description of what Q is as a 3 out of 5. Like they're mostly right in this paragraph.
In this one, they're all right.
Okay.
QAnon followers have grown exponentially. True. In the past 3 years, popularized in online conservative political circles because much of the QAnon conspiracy focuses on prominent Democrats as the source of deep-rooted corruption and criminal activity. True.
Yeah, but Q actually indicts all parties. He says both
Right.
sides are at fault here, and they're all going to go down. So why are the Democrats afraid of it and deriding it if Q says that both sides are to blame and guilty?
Because I think there's more support for the movement
Among conservatives.
among conservatives, definitely. I mean, or independent, libertarian.
There's plenty of libertarians that think that... Okay, listen. Here's the one thing that I really love about QAnon. It's the one conspiracy theory, and it is a conspiracy theory. It's not a negative conspiracy, but it is a theory, right? It's a theory that many people subscribe to. But it's the theory that gets libertarians going, whoa, you guys are out there, man. Libertarians who have always been like the bottom of the barrel. Like people have made fun of libertarians for 40 years. Now all of a sudden here comes QAnon with these mainstream Republicans. And the libertarians are like, nah, we don't want to smell that. That's bad news.
Well, let them think what they want to think, but whatever.
Whatever.
I'm comfortable with who I am and what I believe. So, which anybody late jumping on the live chat. Also, if you have an intuitive question for me, I have my deck of cards here, and I would love to pull a card for you.
So PF3 says Malinowski and his experts actually blamed the social media platforms and their algorithms for the bulk of it. And by it, I assume he means activity around QAnon. That's so typical of like these liberal entitled Democrats to be like, yeah, social media is against us. If social media is against you, who is for you?
First of all, social media isn't against them at all because everything that the right does is being totally censored.
Erased. Yes,
Like,
erased from history.
You can't freaking hashtag anything that has to do with anything.
Yeah, even the pro-life stuff, they're just shutting down.
Everything.
Yeah.
And heaven forbid you mention the wrong thing. Like I've even gotten to where I stop using things and I just talk because you put something in there.
Well, you have to.
I'm finally not.
You have to codify things too. Like if you type a keyword and it doesn't, and it lines up with their algorithm, like you're screwed, man. You're gonna get deboosted. shadow ban.
Yeah.
Skittles says that groups have been deleted. Q groups have been deleted. I know that's true on Facebook for sure.
No, I just interestingly, Skittles. Somebody keyed me into like following like some.
That's a good point, Frito.
Accounts from Japan, and there's like there's like a huge movement where they love Americans. They love the US.
Love beautiful blonde American women.
They love Trump. You know,
Jazmine has been all over these Japanese QAnons, like.
No, but one of them, like one of the big ones that does a lot of translation of the drops for them and everything, actually is like completely like, I mean, everything is censored on her account's gone. And
a Japanese account got dropped by Twitter?
Yeah.
A Japanese QAnon account posting in Japanese.
Yes, but I love them. Like if you just want to look up something fun, just go on my followers, look up a couple of the ones. It's obvious you can tell which ones are the Japanese accounts, and like their pictures are like so phenomenal. Like for where we go one, we go all.
Yeah.
You know, they throw up. This is their sign. And and they make T-shirts and
everywhere else in the world that means 3, but in Japan that means WWG one. We go all WGA. I can't even do the hashtag, but if you add worldwide on there,
but I love them. I love them. I absolutely love these people. But anyway, back to
at Jasmine Star 239 if you want to see some retweets of some great Japanese QAnons.
Yes, I love my Japanese
Quanons. Hydroxychloroquinons.
Yeah.
I just made something up. Anyway, she's like, no, you didn't.
Moving on.
I'm the baggage. She's like, I can't produce this episode tonight. We don't have enough of an outline. I'm like, let's do it.
So, moving on.
Moving on.
Trump has fueled the movement by retweeting QAnon accounts, which props to him, and speaking favorably of its adherents. But the resolution did not name the president. QAnon adherents have been linked to violence or attempted violence, including the April arrest of an Illinois woman who traveled to New York and threatened to kill former Vice President Joe Biden, the 2020 Democratic nominee.
Can I jump in here?
Yes.
So they cite in there the only negative thing they have to say about QAnon in terms of the resolution against QAnon.
Oh my God, this woman in Illinois, she came and she threatened to kill Biden. Oh my God, Karen.
Okay, so this is a matter for the Secret Service, and they're gonna like in the media they're gonna indict QAnon because one crazy fucker.
No, they're actually going to have
Joe
the
Biden's
House,
just about
they're
dead.
gonna
Why
have
would
the
anybody
House
even
fucking vote on it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man.
Because
well, the House,
this
thing's never going to make it out of the House. It's not going to pass. There's enough Democrats against it that it's not even going to. Because they understand, like, if Trump gets reelected, which he more than likely will, these morons in the House are going to be screwed. It's 2 years till the next election, assuming the Republicans don't flip the House, which is possible as well.
So just, kind of going ahead here. The resolution was co-sponsored by 3 Republicans: Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, Adam Kinzinger of Illinois,
Rhino.
Denver Riggleman. What are you saying?
Rhino.
Rhino of Virginia.
Rhino. If you're in Virginia, I don't care what kind of Republican you are. You're a rhino in Virginia. Sorry if you guys are in Virginia.
Anyway, Kinzinger has been publicly calling on political leaders, including those in his party, to more forcefully denounce the QAnon movement. Many Republicans supported the resolution, but still some argued that Democrats were making it a political issue because it did not also call out Antifa, a left-wing fringe political movement. At the outset, let me be clear. Republicans are concerned with and do not embrace QAnon, said Republican Representative Debbie Lesko.
Okay, John McCain would be trashing QAnon all over the place
of Arizona.
right now. Like,
it is a serious issue, and Republicans don't discriminate.
Wait a minute, isn't John McCain? He was from Arizona too, right? So they have that total rhino wing in Arizona. So you've got a Arizona Republican trashing QAnon.
I'm saying it's a serious issue.
Okay. How about Antifa?
But here's where she said Republicans don't discriminate on which dangerous organizations or groups we take seriously. So did
Here we
pander to both sides.
You can't equate QAnon, which is a peaceful, it's a leaderless movement.
We don't just condemn groups because it's politically convenient, because unlike many of our colleagues across the aisle,
Democrats, yeah.
Yes, we also take the threat of Antifa seriously.
Yeah, so you're serious party Republicans, just like John McCain.
However, the resolution did broadly condemn all fringe conspiracy movements, stating the House condemns all other groups and ideologies from far left to the far right that contribute to the spread of unfounded conspiracy theories.
Does anybody out there know how QAnon can be
Americans to destroy public and private property and attack law enforcement officers?
That's not what QAnon does.
No,
That's
they
what
don't.
Antifa does.
Thank you.
They're characterizing QAnon as a fringe right-wing conspiracy. First of all, it's not a right-wing conspiracy. Okay?
It only takes one. It takes one theory to be right.
I know, but they call it a right-wing conspiracy because most QAnon support Donald Trump. And by the way, and I know we're in good company right now on the live chat.
Yeah.
I know that most of us support Donald Trump while holding our nose. I know that. I know that for a fact. And I support Donald Trump. I'm going to be voting for him, and I know you are too. I know we both are.
Yeah.
But that does not make QAnon a right-wing movement.
No.
Donald Trump is hardly a right-wing politician. Like, you think right-wing in the last 40 years, you're talking about neocons. You're talking about, pro-war, like pro-advance war, Republicans like George Bush and even Ronald Reagan to an extent. That's not who Donald Trump is. He's completely different. He's of his own ilk. And so their characterization of QAnon as a right-wing movement or a fringe right-wing movement just does not make any sense to me. By the way, this is a real good time to give a quick tip of the hat to our friends over at the Paradise After Dark podcast, Ken and Lauren, who produce an incredible podcast about true crime in the state of Florida. They're at Paradise Dark 239, and you should definitely follow them on Twitter and check them out on Spotify. Paradise After Dark. Yeah. Real great podcast, super good people, and they've been super kind to us.
Right.
As relatively, I guess, new podcasters. This is episode 45, so most podcasts don't make it past 10.
Well, I came in at 14, so.
So we're still killing it. Skittles says, I'm not right or left, I'm center, but I support our president 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm not in the center. I'm about as far right as you can get. I'm a constitutional libertarian. Like, everybody should own a gun. There should be very few laws. Most things should be legal, blah, blah, blah. But I also support our president because I see the atrocity that he's going up against.
Right.
And that's the common thread with QAnon. And so they were right about one thing in that NPR article, which is that the common thread among QAnon supporters is that they're against human trafficking and pedophilia. Mm-hmm. And they got that right. NPR got that right, but then they didn't do anything about it. The next paragraph, what are they doing? They're talking about how some QAnon lady wants to try to kill Joe Biden, who doesn't give a fucking shit about pedophilia.
Okay, wait a second. Just thinking about it, for whatever reason, that just sparked poor taste. But did you see
Wait, poor taste on our podcast? No.
Did you
Everybody
see
plug your ears and noses.
the Chicago mayor that was talking about how Halloween was going to be this year?
Lori Lightfoot with her sunken in eyes, she looks like a skull. Have you ever seen her? Her face looks like a skull.
How she came out?
Yeah, she had a red cape on. And then there was a blue cape, and they were talking about something about.
She was dressed up like Clorox.
It was terrible.
It was in such poor taste.
So she's the mayor of the third largest city in the United States, which then
Okay, so here's what we know. All right, they want to denounce QAnon and say how it's like this like terrible like movement and everything, and then you have the fucking mayor of Chicago dressed up like a Clorox bottle right after the president it's announced that he has COVID.
Okay, so
And
that was after or before it was announced?
After.
I thought that was before.
No, it was after.
So, but Chicago also gave us Rahm Emanuel. Chicago also gave us Barack Obama. Like the political machine in that city has got my head scratching big time. Like, what the hell is going on in Chicago? And now it's gangland.
Funding. It's all about funding.
And do you think people in Chicago, you think the average mom and dad, like two generations down the road from now, Chicago is going to be like Detroit was 40 years ago. It's going to be nuked off the face of the earth, and it's not even going to resemble a city.
Yeah.
But
well, supposedly they moved those nukes off of the. I don't know. I read that.
Are we going there?
We're not going to get into it and everything, but maybe Frito saw that too. That they.
You're talking about the story where they've been moving nuclear subs while the president is in his isolation, his 10-day. Let's come back to that.
Yeah.
Let's come back to that.
Here, I just want to hold my mic real quick.
All right. So Jazmine is actually going to pull some cards, but before we do so, Jazmine, I'm going to read a couple live chats,
Go for it.
and you shuffle them real good. Skittle says, did you see all the comments about POTUS COVID diagnosis? People saying that they hope POTUS dies. Yeah, fuck that. Listen, when Barack Obama was president, I was against most of his policies, but I did not want him to fail as the leader of our country. Okay, I don't want the leader of our country to fail. That's like wishing that the leader of your employer fails. Like, okay, you work for a company, you've got a president that's your leader. You don't want the leader of your company to fail because that has bad implications for you. Skittle says, I'm surprised Lightfoot knows what Clorox is. Well, you got to clean with something. All right, so Jazmine has pulled a number of cards here, and you can see most of them on the table. As you know, no apologies here. We believe in intuition, and I'm a Christian. And I believe in Jesus Christ, but I also believe in intuition and spiritual gifts. So anybody that's watching this for the first time, Jazmine has pulled some numerology cards, and we're going to discuss them together. But what were you pulling them about?
Well, I wanted to do a card pull simply for
The president or what?
Yeah, and what was going on.
In regards to his diagnosis or his apparent diagnosis?
Apparent diagnosis, kind of some of the stuff that's going on around it. And then what the final outcome of it is. So the first card pulled is forgiveness. And I think that is something.
Yeah, you touch. I don't touch. You touch.
Nobody touches my cards.
Nobody touches. So can you show them the card again, though?
It says forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
All right. So
the number 96.
96. I feel like we're playing bingo right now. Number 96. Anyway, don't mess with my energy flow
all right,
here.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially, yeah. You already did it. Thank you. But this is, okay. So when I do a card pull, yep, I'm getting hot. This happens too. I get hot flashes with this. All right. So this is more of from the collective conscience. And this forgiveness is what needs to be happening with humanity right now. And I need to stress that. And I have brought this up before many times.
Forgiveness.
About the division and what is going on with humanity right now. Mm-hmm. And we have a huge problem. We have a huge problem. It's abundantly clear that we have a problem.
Is it because people are holding on to animus and not forgiving? or is it something else?
We have forgotten how to be humans, how to be human beings, undivided, and tolerance. Tolerance is completely gone.
Yeah.
Completely gone.
Wow.
And this
Yeah.
is something that needs to change.
I wish
you
Ronan
know,
was here to just for that tolerance reason. You know what I mean? Because
This is-
that guy disagrees with us on just about everything, but he is actually the exception. He's so tolerant, and he wants to learn more.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it doesn't mean forgiveness doesn't mean that we have to be in acceptance or roll over and essentially take it up the ass. It doesn't mean that. It just simply means being open to the idea that somebody else's idea is possible and that we can be tolerant and loving and forgiving of one another. The next card that comes up in relation to the current situation of the state right now is communication. We see a lot of communication going on. Number 33 card. That's also a master angel number, 11 by 3. So 33 is definitely a power number. But
I'm thinking about the Trinity right now.
yeah, the whole absolutely it is the Holy Trinity is, but aside from that, communication needs to happen. There is a lot of communication, but without letting my own personal bias get in the way of this,
Why not?
because that's not how this works.
Okay.
The communication that needs to occur has to be non-partisan.
Okay. So based on human denominators and not
Right.
governmental organizational denominators.
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes back to the division of the states. If we can communicate, then we will reach abundance. This is where we need to be, and this is where we are not going, where when all this other stuff doesn't happen, we can't become abundant. We will not get what we need to get. We are the ones that are standing in the way of our path and moving forward. And this comes down to teaching and learning. And this is what research is about. This is what QAnon is about.
Okay.
This is what,
Educating oneself.
yeah, this is about just embracing embracing what's around us and learning from one another, being tolerant of one another, learning what it's like to put yourself in another man's shoes. It doesn't mean that we have to agree on everything. We are human beings.
Yeah.
We can agree to disagree, but we are living in a human condition.
You know, I've spent a lot of time, I have a lot of family that's very left of center, and they would almost certainly disagree with what I have to say most of the time about politics and about my view of the world. But I think that I always try to wonder why in the world they view the world they do, right? So if, in other words, like all my family in Kansas is basically Democrats, right? They're very hardworking, labor-oriented Democrats, but not in the modern sense of the word Democrat. They're classical, liberal, grew up during the 60s and maybe the early 70s. So legit, like Southern-controlled, kind of like hardworking nationalist sort of Democrats that were of the ilk that produced real revolutionaries like JFK, you know? So to your point about trying to figure out where they're at and identify with them and kind of understand their view of the world and sort of get their view of the world and you know, I spent a lot of time thinking about what in the world has informed the way they look at things. And how can I educate myself based off of that, right? It's not just about what you read and what's on the TV and what's on the news programs. I really want to understand why they hate a lot of the things that I believe in. You know what I mean? They hate the fact that even though I'm not a Republican, I support Donald Trump. And I really try to identify with them in that regard and try to figure it out. And it's tough. It really is tough. So...
Skittles, that's awesome. If you're a card reader, you know what I mean about heating up. Precious Frito, how do we forgive Satan? Boy, that is that's a loaded question.
It probably depends on who you believe Satan is.
How many times have you read a tweet of mine or heard me say on the show that darkness cannot survive in the light? And that's the answer to, and I said, forgiveness doesn't have to mean necessarily acceptance. It doesn't mean that we're accepting, but it's making a choice and a conscious decision that we are going to live in the light and that we're not going to live in the dark.
Well, some things are not repairable, right? You may not be able to accept.
So
you may have to live with a permanent brokenness about something with which you disagree that you cannot change.
So our thoughts, this is what we create. We manifest what we create. This is our thoughts. So the more anger and frustration that we have around these subjects that we have feel perhaps powerless over is what we are going to create in our lives. That's manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to create that negative, dark shit in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for being so blunt there.
Did you say shit?
Shit. Yeah. Satan is shit.
We're going to need a new intro. I'm pretty sure it says fuck in our intro. So
no,
oops, you said shit now, so we're really screwed.
No, I'm just saying,
I hear you though. So we manifestation.
Right. So we have to live in the light. That's the only way that drives out the darkness. Compassion. These are sick people. And my crown is tingling when I say that. All right. So we are dealing with sick people. And
not necessarily all completely evil to the core. Some of them are just sick people.
Right. So it's hard to not. We want to stand united. We want to be undivided. But the truth of the matter is right now we are divided. So, and this is, like I said, if you follow Martin, he talks about the collective conscious.
MartinGeddes.com.
Yes.
Martin Geddes, Geddes.
All right. So, and he's one that is very disgruntled right now.
Oh
and
my
he's
God, that guy
much,
has been through so much shit. I feel terrible for him.
And
he's lost a ton because of his commitment to the QAnon movement. Yeah.
And then this is just for you, Precious Frito, and how you do that, patience. And that's not easy. And
well,
that's
PF3
something.
Also, he just live chatted, you picked my card. And I believe he was referring to compassion. Or manifestation. Manifestation, yes. It was manifestation that he referred to when he said you picked my card. Correct me if I'm wrong, Frito. But you were saying about the third card?
Are those cards considered magic arts? I mean, this is a numerology deck, but I don't need cards, honestly. I read people, I read energy. I don't talk about it often, but I know that you have seen the our Epstein Island episode, as well as the episode in which I connected with information on the missing woman in Cape Coral.
Yeah.
When
Lauren Dumoulin.
when we did the walk,
Which we just talked about last night with the Paradise After Dark
Right.
guys.
And
there is
she
so much.
reached
There
out
is
to
deep
me.
concern about her, and I'm sorry for interrupting, but there is like deep concern about where Lauren is at. I gave them your theory about, or your postulate about where Lauren's body may be, and Lauren is actually also the name of this host of the other podcast, Lauren and Ken from Paradise After Dark. She really concurs hardcore with your opinion, and Ken actually thinks Lauren Dumoulin just disappeared herself. Ken really believes that Lauren is doing this thing called dissonant cognition or something like that, where people just oddly assume some new identity and then go about their lives as though like they just disappear themselves and move to a different state or a different country or whatever and continue, and nobody has any trace of them.
Right.
Which is insane considering the amount of serialized interconnectivity and identifying markers that everybody's assigned throughout their lives, whether it be account numbers or social security numbers or whatever they are.
Right.
But anyway, back to your intuition on that. I'm sorry for interrupting, but
no, they actually, Lauren, not Dumoulin, Lauren from Paradise After Dark, had reached out to me about another missing persons that she was notified about to get a read on that. So, yeah, that seems to be my thing now.
well, I mean, what
But,
you said about Lauren was very smart. Everything added up when we went to the site.
Right.
Even the feedback, the verbal feedback we got from the guy that was on site was very affirming to what you believed about her. But anyway, so you pulled cards on the situation with the president.
Right. Well, I started to pull on the situation with the president. In actuality, it really does have to do with just the state of humanity right now, and what our angels and guides are and universe wants us to know and to be aware of. I've said this for a long time, and I'll continue to say this. A lot of what we are seeing, and this is just me. This has nothing to do with Nigel nor the show.
It may, though.
This is just my own feeling, my own gut intuition here. A lot of what we are seeing going on is, and you'll see me say it and hashtag it a lot, smoke and mirrors, because I believe that. I believe that there really is a true component to that with what is going on today.
Oh yeah.
Even
There's a lot of play acting going on both sides.
Even being medevac to Walter Reed Hospital. I have my own thoughts and feelings about that. Also, having a medical background, I know what these people look like when they come in, and I know that our president is an actor, but
that's a great point.
But
Donald Trump is a Hollywood magnet, like.
But
New York based, like the guy knows what he's doing. He's a producer.
But he either pulled off the best looking act for somebody who needed to be medevac.
Okay, so you're talking about his video where he says he's getting ready to go to Walter Reed.
Right.
And you told me, we were watching that tonight, and you told me, man, this looks fake. He's green screening.
Smoke and mirrors.
He's probably on Air Force One at this point.
Smoke and mirrors, people.
Yeah.
And yes, okay, you want to call it out that Madam Fruitcake, I've been called that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jazmine Star,
Madam Fruitcake.
Madam Fruitcake.
My tinfoil hat. You know what? I don't care. But
wait till they find out about your red helmet.
Well,
We should like legit put on some tinfoil hats for the next episode.
I think so.
We have to find real
This is honestly
tinfoil.
the perfect one for a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
But, excuse me.
So Jasmine is deathly allergic to cats.
Yeah.
I own lots of cats, and every time the microphone covers these things, we call these things afros because they look like little afros, that they have little cat hairs in them. And once in a while, Jasmine just eats one and has an allergy attack live right on the show.
Precious Frito, yes. Okay. I actually mentioned that I read that too today. And we discussed that prior to the show. And
Thank you, PF3.
Yeah.
Thank you. It really is time. Frito, I was just bitching to Jasmine today. Like, just listen. Everybody wants these QAnon prophecies the Q prophecies to just fucking happen already.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are, I don't want to say that we're looking like silly morons, but like the really, really deeply entrenched leaders of the QAnon movement, which we are not by any stretch. You're probably more of one than we are, Precious Frito.
Yes,
There's a
right.
frustration level building with all the crypticness. I mean, it's been 3.5 years, and these indictments need to happen.
yes, I do. Happy Libra birthday.
HLB.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know my baby shared a Libra
Your birthday's
birthday.
not for like another week, so just calm down, okay?
No, but a Libra. I love it.
PF3 is a Libra, too.
That's what he just said.
Yeah, that's what he
I
said.
never get. Okay, here. I just want to say this. I never get to see the live chat, but because of our setup tonight, I'm like, oh, this is what's actually going on.
So
I'm
the secret
totally
bunker is
clueless.
way cooler than the green screen bunker where nothing.
where I am totally in the dark as to what's going on the
I
live
now know
chat.
what I need to fix about the main studio.
I need one anyway. But yes, I'm with you on Red October. I also had something that I read that was more in the metaphysical realm, where I've mentioned eyes on the sky. And I do believe that there's a component of that is also going to be very important. It's important to note that we have 2 full moons in the month of October. The one that we just had last night. The next one falls on Halloween.
How many new moons are there? Just one?
Just one.
Probably in the dead middle of the month. That's a complete darkness then, around the 16th or 17th.
Oh, boy.
Like pitch black during the middle of the night. New moon is like no.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
We'll have to go skimpy dimping.
Skimpy dimping.
But for my
We'll post video.
birthday, in my birthday suit. But yes, I blue moon on Halloween.
Is that coming up though? Blue moon on
Is
Halloween?
terrifying.
That's the one that only happens like the second full moon in however many months, right? Isn't that what a blue moon is?
You know what? I believe that the energy this month, we are looking at a huge energy shift that is going to. It's funny you see me doing this and everything. These are my cues that I have to be aware of. And when I'm creating friction and everything, I'm aware that we need to ground ourselves because there's going to be a huge energy shift that's going on this month.
We need some bicycles to fix, man. That's how I ground myself. Like all external thought gets rejected, and I fix stuff. Jasmine, not so much. She's like, yeah, fuck fixing the bicycles, man.
No.
CycleShack.com.
I agree with you. I there is a lot I feel that is valid to that drop. That about the insulation.
The 2017 drop mentioning the 4th of October 2020.
Yes.
Which you want to pull it up and read it real quick and step us through it? If you want, I can prep the second half of the episode while you do so.
Well, I thought this wasn't something that you wanted to cover.
Well, I mean, if you want to, it's a brief drop. We're going to go through the Q drop that mentions 4.10.20, which is
right.
October 4th, 2020.
All right.
This was posted on what date in 2017?
November 1st, 2017, drop 35, anonymous. POTUS will be, well, and then it's insulated. It's also encapsulated in red. Protected on Air Force One and abroad. Specific locations classified while these operations are conducted due to the nature of the entrenchment. It is time, as Frito also said, to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment and bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. It is our hope that this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. We cannot yet telegraph this message through normal methods for reasons I'm sure everyone here can understand. Follow the questions from the previous threads and remain calm. The primary targets are within D.C. and remain at the top on both sides. The spillover in the streets will be quickly shut down.
And McCain was still alive then, too.
Look for more false flags. Stay alert, be vigilant, and above all, please pray. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Love is patient. Love is kind. God bless my fellow Americans. 4/10/20.
So 4/10/20 in military speak is October 4th of this year. In other words, the day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So like here I am jumping on the Q stuff when at the beginning of the show I was just like, come on, give it to me. I'm sick of it.
Right.
But the funny thing is, if you hearken back to those early, especially like the first couple hundred Q drops, there's echoes in time. And the later stuff, it's saying future proves past and that time is nonlinear. And if you go look at Sarah Ruth Ashcraft's posts, it's like she is all over it. And the stuff makes sense when you read it through her interpretations of people like her.
Right.
But yet
she's
nothing
intuitive.
happens. Like in our linear time.
But do you understand that? She's an intuitive?
Oh, yeah. She's also been in prison for half her life. Did you see her post about Chris Cornell?
No, I missed that one.
So she posted a photo. It was a repost. And yes, you should definitely be doing the thing because this is real shit, I believe. Okay. Yes. DJT. Okay, interesting. Skittle says that 4/10/20 is a code for DJT, 4th, 10th, and 20th letters of the alphabet, I think. But when Sarah Ruth Ashcraft was a kid, she was raised with a certain young towhead named Christopher Cornell. Okay, we all know who Chris Cornell grew up to be, right? The super heartthrob, incredibly gifted singer from Soundgarden who went on to be in a band called, a much less exciting band called Audio Slave, which was to replace the lead singer of Rage Against the Machine, which was a leftist anti-government band at the time during all the shit that was going on during 9/11 and stuff. And yes, thank you, Frito. She was also apparently a personal human property item of Tom Hanks. We're talking about Sarah Ruth Ashcraft. If you're not following her on Twitter, like we're a nobody compared to her online. Go follow her. Her shit rarely makes sense, but when it does, it connects so many dots about what's going on. And about 3 or 4 months ago, like during the depth of the COVID-19 thing, I was reading through her stuff and I said, holy jeez, like if you don't think this thing is about child trafficking, you're a fucking moron. And it was largely due to a lot of what Sarah Ruth posted.
Well, Blake Lively just released, I don't know if I RT'd that video. I'm not sure, but um, she talked about what it was like to be a mother and to become very aware of what is actually going on. Like she's actually waking up, and
isn't that great to hear people say though?
But she was asking like investigators and everything, like she was asking them the hard questions, like what are we talking about? And she goes on to discuss. She says these people have become so desensitized to seeing teens and how they just get younger and younger and younger. And then she was like, how young are we talking?
Well,
and
look
then
at Netflix. They're doing 11 and 10-year-olds now on Cuties on Netflix.
And then she said newborn babies. And, and it's just, this is where I said there's a sickness. And it's pervasive. We're seeing positive movement all around and children that are being recovered. Disruption in rings and stuff like that.
To the extent that they are, I mean, there's a lot of embedded people that are on the other side that are still trying to make it happen.
Right. But I want to say, it's like you go back and you're like, we've been waiting for these things, that have been in these drops and everything, like from, a few years ago. Well, guess what? I was doing that training and knew I had to do human trafficking training 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I knew to renew my license, I was going to have to do human trafficking training. It was going to be a requirement for me.
Which is, you have a medical license.
Yes.
Not to get too specific.
No. But, we knew this. This was an issue then. 3 years ago. So
during the Trump administration, though.
Right. Prior to this, and I've been in the medical profession now for over 17 years. And it wasn't until this last renewal cycle that we were all made aware that this was going to be mandatory training for any of us. Now, of course, we always had domestic violence training. We always had, abuse, like signs of abuse, what our duties and responsibilities are in reporting that. But we never once touched human trafficking until this last renewal cycle, which our licenses have to be renewed every 2 years in the state. And here we are now, and you're looking at the current administration, and this has become a requirement. That stuff doesn't happen by accident,
But do you think that was an intentional crackdown on human trafficking behavior from the get-go of the administration? Or do you think that there were precedents for that before Trump was elected? Because, I mean, you think about it in presidential time, 2 years ago, the guy had only been in office for 1 year. That's a real, I mean, is it because we have a Republican conservative as a governor? Like, how does that come down to the Florida Licensing Board, and all of a sudden everybody's getting trained on human trafficking?
This isn't just Florida. This is not just a Florida thing or a Florida issue. This is something that is other states are being mandated to require as part of their training. Yes, that's true. Yep, Skittles is absolutely right there. It's not just the medical profession. There's certain
Well, anything logistics related, anything related to travel.
You know, I have, I've actually, I think I mentioned it before. I actually witnessed a case of trafficking, and we had a questionable one not too long ago. I don't think it was ever pursued, unfortunately, but in my heart of hearts, I felt like there was a need to look into it, based on some of the circumstances and some of the stories that weren't adding up.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely an issue, and something that we need to.
It's the number one issue of our time, and if anybody tells you otherwise, they're just completely not connected. There's a story that I wanted to share about this regarding.
Oh, okay.
This is an Only in Florida story. Now, normally our Only in Florida stuff is hilarious-ish.
Right.
This one is not hilarious at all. This has to do with a Florida man and father, presumably not a Florida man, charged with sex trafficking a minor from Croatia. So this is a real specific kind of tactical, anecdotal situation, that they wrote a story about on crimeonline.com. It says the U.S. Department of Justice has charged a Florida man and his son with multiple charges related to sex trafficking a child from Croatia. The U.S. Attorney's Office, Middle District of Florida, reports. Jordan Jose Pulido, 26, and Roberto Santana Jimenez, 61. Jimenez. She knows Spanish, I don't. Have both been charged with conspiracy to transport a minor into the country to engage in sexual activity. United States Attorney Maria Chapa Lopez said Friday when she unsealed the indictment. So this was another secret indictment that was revealed by a judge instead of held in real time.
Right.
And that's how they're getting a lot of these people.
And why are we I can understand protecting the minor, but why in the hell are we protecting and sealing
the perpetrator?
The files of these perpetrators, unless they're able to, be used as essentially informants for a bigger ring. Why in the hell are we protecting them?
Well, these guys must not have been worth very much. Maybe that's why it was a secret indictment. When they figured out they weren't worth shit, and they just released it. So Polito has been charged with enticement and coercion of a minor, traveling out of the country to engage in illicit sexual conduct, and transporting a minor into the country to engage in sexual activity. Polito groomed the girl, who was under 16 years old, for nearly a year, from around September 2017 until August 2018. In mid-June, the indictment says he traveled to Croatia, where the girl lived, to have sex with her. That's a lot of travel, though, if she was already overseas. I feel like there might have been people cooperating over there.
Of course.
To make this happen.
Of course.
And for a month after, Polito and his father, quote, conspired to transport the victim from Croatia to Florida, again so that Polito could engage in sexual activity with the victim, actually bringing her to Florida near the end of July 2018. The indictment also notifies the defendants that the government intends to seize, quote, electronic devices, which are alleged to have been used in the commission of the offense. So that's phones and computers.
Right.
Attorney's office says the case was brought by a DOJ initiative launched in May 2006 called Project Safe Childhood, targeting child sexual exploitation. Has anybody heard of Project Safe Childhood before?
No. For my other job, though, I just had to do that other training for that one too, and the non-medical related that had to do with children. So anyway,
you think a lot of this stuff, though, it's international in nature. There's
grooming.
Obviously people on the other end that have to correspond in order to transport these individuals.
It's not just transporting, though. Like, you can't just take somebody from Croatia and bring them here and then have them be like conform to these kind of behaviors. When they're talking about grooming for a year,
It's probably much more than a year.
Yeah. People are born into this, unfortunately, and that's the really sick part about it too. But they are essentially, like the grooming process is a slow process, and that's why, like where they said it took a year. It starts off by gaining trust.
Mm-hmm.
In small ways,
and making awful things seem okay.
That's down the road. The first thing usually happens around things like making them feel special. They look for.
So it's a total double cross. Like you feel great, and then
no, they are looking for, and that's why kids that are in the system. And
like CPS.
I don't want and I don't
just say it. Listen, Child Protective Services is loaded with traffickers. It's okay to say it really is.
Okay, well,
Sharika Soul. We talked about Sarah Ruth.
Right.
Like, this is normal.
So you have these people that they haven't had the best upbringing. They've been neglected. They're brought into a home that feels loving. This is
maybe it does.
Well, it does.
It might.
Because they didn't have that. So that's where the grooming begins.
If they're young enough, yeah.
You would be amazed at how even teenagers can easily be groomed when they have had a troubled upbringing, and how easy it is to manipulate them.
Yeah.
A lot of it also, and when you get into then you get into some of the substance abuse stuff too, as a means of control.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into all of that. Anyway, it's a serious problem. Anyway, if you see this sign, I'm just going to put that one out there. That is a sign. If you ever see somebody do that they are in need of help. So, do you have another Florida?
I do.
Story?
I
Maybe
absolutely
something
do.
to like lighten the
incredible segue. Florida man arrested after police say he assaulted his girlfriend after she tried to throw away his pizza. I mean,
How did they
holy mackerel. And can you think of a worse reason to attack your girlfriend? All right, let's reverse the sexes for a second. What if I tried to throw away your pizza?
Can we change pizza to something else?
Perfectly good, delicious pizza. There's 3 or 4 slices of leftovers, and you're all about it. Like, that's going to be breakfast. And I'm like, boom, throwing it out.
Yeah.
Would you assault me?
No.
Okay. This one comes from Charlotte County, which is about 80 miles north of where we sit right now.
Wow. Oh, wait a second, though. You know what? If it were Sir Pizza, because that's like not too far
it's
from
Arcadia,
there.
right? Like going towards Orlando and stuff.
Well, I mean, it's like
So you would assault me if I threw away Sir Pizza.
Is it off? I was gonna say MLK, but it's off of Palm Beach Boulevard.
All right, so
We're all if
everybody
it's the
that's a
pizza off of
Jasmine
Palm-
Star fan, like she loves her Sir Pizza in Central Florida
well,
because it comes from where she grew up.
It's a taste of home. If you threw away some Royal Feast, I might beat you with the box.
If you threw away from Domino's Pizza, I might celebrate for you and start a
I got one in the fridge.
GoFundMe to have you do it again. Like
I got one in the fridge. He hates it.
Patreon.com/Domino's Pizza sucks. So it says deputies with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office arrested a man following a domestic violence incident. The incident happened Wednesday, September 23rd, so a week or so ago, in an apartment building in Port Charlotte. Great place, very affordable. Recommend sane people please move to Port Charlotte. The victim told officers that her boyfriend, Sean Metcalf, had slapped her with a piece of pizza. after she attempted to throw a pizza box away. Okay, stop it. Why is that not the headline, man? He slapped her with the pizza. That right there is worthy of the headline. Man slaps girl with pizza. With a pizza box that she believed to be empty.
Okay, like how did this argument go down? Let's like recreate.
He's in mid-eat.
Okay, like is it already refrigerated so it's a little hard?
It better be, right? Otherwise,
or
why
is
slap
it like,
the cheese? You're gonna risk wasting the cheese if it slides off.
It's like getting floppy, like a floppy pizza.
I mean, like it's got to be decently hard.
Slapped
Otherwise,
with floppy pizza in your.
Of course, if it's brand new and you get the slap, like have you ever got that cheese down your chin and just burned the crap out of your chin because it was so hot?
I have a scar on my leg from pizza. Thank you very much.
What? I didn't realize that was what caused that scar.
You don't even know.
So it says the victim told officers that Metcalf had angrily told her not to throw his dinner away. Nevertheless, she threw the box down on the ground and told police he became very angry. You think? She told police Sean picked up a slice of pizza and hit her with it. Okay, was this a projectile? Did he ninja star it towards her?
Like, just like wadded it up in this ball.
Like a snowball pizza.
Yeah.
The victim told officers, so the responding deputies noticed grease and sauce on her face.
No way.
So she left it on. I can't. She left it on her face. Look, grease and there's sauce and everything. I ate the cheese because it was good, but I left the grease and the sauce because and immediately took Metcalf into custody. He admitted to losing his cool, but he told officers he had no idea how pizza got all over the victim.
Oh, here we go. It's Pizzagate.
The new Pizzagate. The cover story for Pizzagate right here. Metcalf has been charged with domestic battery. Oh my goodness, guys! I'm going to post the link to this in the live chat so you can see the story, real quick.
He looks like he needs to lay off the pizza a little bit, though.
Yeah, if you saw this, I don't think you would. DiGiorno's. Al says it's DiGiorno's. Skittle says Child Protective Services is truly rotten to the root. Yeah, is it delivery or he delivered it?
He delivered it, man.
Was it overhand or do you think he was it overhand or underhand?
No, man. If I'm gonna assault somebody with a slice of pizza, I'm going all balls in.
I love when you mix your metaphors.
What? Meatballs? What the fuck?
Yeah, okay, because meatballs on pizza is legal in some states.
No, I would definitely take it in my hand, and it would be an all out smash down.
You know anybody named Justin?
Yeah, of course I do.
What about Justin Anthony?
Justin Anthony?
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, there's this guy. You know, we all these stories about Lehigh Acres, right? It's this city that's to the east of Fort Myers.
Lehigh?
Come on, give us your true. Don't filter it. Tell us your true opinion about Lehigh Acres.
Don't go to the Walmart at Lehigh on
Oh, isn't that where that's the one where the rent-a-cops beat the shit out of the dude for not wearing a mask.
Oh, I don't know.
They beat him with a cart. This big 300-pound dude beat him with a cart.
But I was trying to get Xbox 360, the whatever year it was that was the new system out.
Xbox 360. So you mean 2002?
Let me think how many divorces ago it was.
Oh.
Oh wait, maybe it was an Xbox One.
Wow. Boom, boom.
No, but I went to the Lehigh.
Trying to find an Xbox.
So
and that's the last place you went?
No.
You went to Lehigh thinking they would have an Xbox?
No, I just happened to be in Lehigh. Sadly.
Oh,
Sorry
boy.
to anybody. We just lost our 2 viewers in Lehigh.
Well, they're. I'm not going to say it. Not going to go there.
But
I almost added insult to injury, but I'm not going to.
But
we love you, Lehigh. Please vote for us in whatever election we end up in someday.
Yeah, we will never be in an election.
I'm running for school board. I don't know about you. I'm running for school board, Bonita Springs.
Really?
Yes. I have no children in school. They're all graduated. I'm running for school board. I'm going to go door to door with the photocopied leaflets that I have cut out. I'm going to make them as small as possible to make sure I can maximize my buck.
I thought you didn't believe in the Department of Education.
I don't.
Anyway.
The National Department of Education.
So in Anderson, Indiana, at the Walmart, they sit in the cheese.
I'm going to need a...
In the Lehigh Walmart.
You're not going to sit in the cheese.
In the Lehigh Walmart on Thanksgiving, when you have Black Friday, you don't want to be there because it's like it is an onslaught of trailer park versus
Kellyanne's going to be fine too.
Migrant workers angrily plowing you down to try to get...
In Indiana.
No, in Lehigh.
In Lehigh. To get to the cheese, to sit in
You've never been to Lehigh, have you?
I have been to Lehigh, but I refuse...
You drove through Lehigh. You've
Listen,
never, really been there.
Out. The only time I'm going to a Walmart is if I must go to the Walmart, which means I need something new for my RV. No, seriously. I mean, legit. You ever been to a Walmart? Like, if you ever want to make a controversial video, you go to Walmart, you can film 3 or 4 different mothers beating the shit out of their toddler in the same checkout line.
I would be one of those mothers.
I doubt that. I also
not
don't think...
Not beating the shit out of them, but, I mean, I have...
No, I'm talking about they take back their fake Armani purse and beat the shit out of the kids over and over in Walmart. It's a thing, man. It's not TikTok. I know, understand. Like, if you go internet time, it's a long, long time ago. But that's what Walmart is known for.
No, you pull out your jelly shoe, your little little chancleta.
Wow. Hey, man, you know what? Can I hear those ABCs real quick while I pull this shit up? And 1, 2, go.
A B C D E F G H I J E K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X. What are you doing?
Why are you pointing the microphone towards me? Like, so Jazmine had to hold her own microphone tonight?
I know. This is the biggest piece of bullshit ever.
Okay. She refused to produce the episode tonight. That means I get the microphone stand and the backup bunker. Justin Anthony Garcia, 30, is charged with aggravated battery. In a Facebook post that's reliable, authorities wrote that Garcia, quote, cried over spilled milk because the victim wouldn't agree that his choice of milk was obviously superior. Headline, got milk? 2 men got into a verbal argument this weekend over which type of milk was better, almond milk or whole.
That did not happen at a Walmart.
No. Why? Why not?
Almond milk or whole milk? That's like where you shop.
Wait, okay, time out. Which milk don't they sell at Walmart?
Well, I'm just saying, 2 men that get in an argument over which is better, almond milk or whole milk, doesn't happen at a Walmart.
Listen,
that happens at the kind of places you go shopping.
I'm going to tell you 3 things about this. 2 men that get in an argument about which milk is better are either fighting over the last one, or they're gay and they live together and they shouldn't have ever met, or it was made for fake news.
Why do they have to be gay?
They don't have to be. They could be one of the other 2 things also.
I
have never gone to the retail.
Gay.
That's right. It's a spectrum, right? But I've never gone to Walmart and gotten into a fight with any man over which milk was better. Now, a criminal complaint states that a deputy responded shortly after 2 p.m. Sunday to a home in Lehigh Acres where Garcia and his cousin were arguing over which is better, whole milk or almond milk. This wasn't even in the store. This was at the home. Quote, their verbal argument became physical when Garcia became enraged at the victim for disagreeing with him. Garcia proceeded to punch the victim with a closed fist to victim's left side of his forehead. Okay, this is about milk. One of these guys is developmentally disabled. That's all I can figure.
Oh.
Garcia's cousin tried to punch back but missed his face. His blow landing instead on Garcia's shoulder. That's when Garcia pulled out a pocket knife.
Yes. Over milk.
Over milk. Okay, almond milk isn't milk, right? It's basically reinfused almond pulp that they have liquefied somehow.
Don't you buy that though?
I like almond milk, but it's not technically milk. Milk comes out of a teat. It's hashtag teat. Is this true or not? Milk comes from a teat, right? Garcia caught up with the victim and struck him with the knife, causing a small cut to the man's torso. Okay, so I'm seeing this little tiny, like, half-inch little thing on the guy's rib.
Okay, wait. I just want to say, interject on this.
This story is so
I stabbed
fucking
myself.
awesome.
Look, do you see this little tiny scar here?
Yes,
Right
yes,
on the
yes,
meat part
yes,
of my
I do.
on my hand, that little meaty part.
We must be overdriving because Frito's like, eat those mics.
Oh, sorry.
Frito, hey, listen, man. If you ever want to move to Florida, we are on the production job. Like, you're hired, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, I stabbed myself in the hand, and I wanted to throw up. So I feel that, guys.
All right. You understand how much it hurts.
Yeah.
So
And
Garcia caught up with the victim and struck him with a knife, causing a small cut to the man's torso. An uncle intervened at that point. An uncle. Like, there were several uncles available. This particular one intervened.
Yeah.
Grabbing Garcia and separating the men until deputies arrived. The witness was working on the victim's vehicle in the driveway when he heard Garcia and the victim argue over almond milk. Why? Why is anybody ever doing this?
It was not clear from the records which side of the issue Garcia was arguing in favor of.
Thank you, Fox News,
Oh,
Jacksonville.
wait, look, there's even the
There's
police
a
report.
Copy of the police report. Okay, so
I love this.
the guy
Oh,
was-
look, they made it like, okay, wait. They said this happened at like 2 in the afternoon.
Wow, man. Yeah, and this is...
Okay, so they brought him in at 5:15, like 17:15. Booking time was 21:28. You made okay. So he sat there for over 4 hours
Over milk.
from the time he arrived at the jail to when he was booked
Let that be
for
a
fucking
lesson
almond milk.
to you people who want to argue about milk. And I can't think of anything else to argue about tonight, Jasmine Star. It seems to be getting more and more quiet. Holy, hey, PF3, are your headphones falling off?
I'm sorry.
We have had, listen, all of our audio advice is based on you. Precious Frito, you are the future of our audio.
I think we probably lost Skittles and Alex.
No, we didn't lose Skittles. Skittles is still watching. But anyway, we do have to retire for the night. It's getting pretty late. I have to go fight with a contractor tomorrow morning about my shit problem.
Yeah, your shit-filled house.
Well, listen, man, when somebody fills your sewer drain with earth and you can't do laundry anymore and it starts backing up into the lowest drain in your home, that's a problem. See, Skittles is still there. I wish I could do laundry right now, Skittles. Like, that's how I found out that this asshole, like, crushed my sewer drain. He's building a house next door to my house because I
All
was
of a sudden, everything started to smell crappy.
Oh, dude, it was terrible. Well, you were there when the drain, like, we started hearing these weird sounds from the pipes. It was
The
going
bubbling.
blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
and you're like, gosh, what's that? I wonder what that is. And I'm
I
like,
did not sound like that.
that is exactly how Jasmine Star sounds. What do you think that is? I'm a little bit concerned about those sounds. It kind of sounds like blah 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 blah. And I'm like, it's nothing, because I'm stoic. I knew something was up, and I'm like, oh boy, not talking about it, because I don't want you to be like, oh dear, maybe there's a problem with the plumbing, and then I'm gonna get all like anxiety ridden and shit, and then like, so I had to like just.
Because I sound like that.
That's how I sound when I'm freaking out.
No, that's like your impersonation of me.
Oh, Skittles, I hope you have some good breezy tonight. Skittles' dryer is broken, hanging it all.
Oh, man.
Is there anything worse than laundry? Like, come on, man. Laundry's the worst. So, couple quick show notes before we wrap up. We're going to have we have one interesting guest coming up. whose name it's Sean Ryan. I'm just going to say it.
You're like,
I'm not prepared to say
name
it's
him,
Sean
but
Ryan.
It's somebody you don't know.
He's this young kid that absolutely makes his stand-up comedy career on making bad, terrible jokes about 9/11. And yes, we're going to have him on the show. We've got a couple dates to choose from.
He also goes down in dirty and pedo land too.
Oh yeah. His stick it
it's
line.
Gonna be,
oh yeah.
No,
yeah,
don't.
Yeah.
You can't use the stick
I
it line.
can't say
You
the
gotta
stick
let
it line.
him
It's
deliver
so
it.
Good, man.
Well,
yeah, he's on our side for sure.
I don't.
For sure.
He's on our side, but we're gonna have to make it like maybe double E for that episode.
Double E.
Yeah, explicit.
Like we're gonna have to bleep
explicit.
like the boys on the intro are gonna have to get double bleeped at the beginning.
I don't know, but it's gonna be dirty.
Well, it's probably gonna be distasteful. For those looking for an update on my thumb, I now have partial mobility, so I can go about that far and about that far without pain. Anything worse,
really
it feels like my entire arm is going to break off.
About
Jasmine's dog tried to kill my thumb and broke my thumb when we were pod camping a couple weeks ago. We do have those last 2 episodes when we were pod camping. Those are posted. Tipcast239 on Twitter. How do you get us on Instagram?
Trouble239.
And trouble@trouble239.com to email us.
Yeah.
And patreon.com/trouble239.
Yes.
Who else should they follow?
They should follow Paradise After Dark.
On Spotify?
Any platform.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
So you guys have a great night. Thanks for hanging in there to the very end with us.
Yeah.
Jasmine Star 239 on Twitter. I'm
Yeah.
Nigel Kent 239 on Twitter.
And what do we have?
At Shadow Sight.
Shadow
Cool
Sight.
name. Is that on Twitter, Skittles? Yep.
On Twitter.
Hope everyone has a great
Shadow
weekend.
Sight. That sounds familiar. I may follow you. I think we follow. We're peeps or something.
This one did a tire repair on a bicycle today. I just want you to know that. She's the real deal.
The real deal?
She is the real deal.
I'm
She did a flat tire repair on a bicycle today.
I changed the cassette.
She did. She changed the cassette. She changed the...
I put a new bike chain on.
oh, yeah. You hacked a bike chain?
I
Good
hacked
stuff.
it. What do
You did hack a bike chain. Did you not use the bolt cutter and just slice it down? That's my favorite tool, the bolt cutter.
Yeah.
Like if you get your pinky caught in there, you're dead.
The chain whip. I learned about the chain whip today.
Chain whip.
Yeah.
Chain whip. Google that. Chain whip. All right, the dogs are barking. That means they have to poop. Everybody, stay out of trouble. And how do you turn this thing off, Jasmine Star?
Just turn it off.
Okay, I'm trying. Where do you push?
For the love of God.
You just have to push which one?
You're waiting for Frito to say it.
I'm waiting for Frida to say how do you turn this thing off. Yeah. All right. Well, good night. He's already asleep.